So now that we've talked about the basic usage of or the basics uses of sockets or the socket implementations, like we've talked about what is the family, what is the type, what is the protocol. Let's understand in detail stream sockets, okay, as well as diagram sockets. So we're gonna be starting about with stream sockets. So stream sockets, as I told you, or TCP, is a reliable protocol because before it's send data to the other end or to the remote host, it will actually perform something called the three-way handshake. So it would be sure that the remote host or the other end is available. Okay, so that's how a stream socket looks like. Okay, or that is a socket instance server, as I told you, and this is a socket instance client. So after creating the socket instance on the server side, you have to use something called bind. There's a couple of methods that you're gonna need to understand. So the bind method is used to bind or to assign an IP address to the socket. So if we do here man bind, actually when a socket is created with blah blah blah, it exists in a namespace address family but has no address assigned to it. So using the bind, you're gonna assign the address specified by EDDR to the socket. Okay. So for example, let's assume that you have a server. For example, you have a server, and this server has a couple of interfaces. Okay, interface 1 and interface 2, as well as the loopback address, for example. So you can actually, using the bind method, you can tell the socket to start or to bind to interface number 2, to the IP address, to the given IP address, to the loopback address. Okay, so it can actually send and receive data using that given interface and not all interfaces. You can actually tell it to bind to all interfaces, okay, using the wildcard address, as you will see later on. So another function is listen, or another method is listen. The listen method is used to specify the buffer. So for example, let's assume that you're gonna pass a number of 5 to the function. Actually here the socket would be able to deal with 5 connections simultaneously, okay, with simultaneous connections. Okay, that's the purpose of the lesson. So you're going to specify the number of simultaneous connections at a time to deal with at a time. The accept method returns a tuple, and the tuple is as follows. For example, we have a tuple, and here we have the socket client. Okay, and then we've got another tuple inside the tuple that contains the client IP and the client port number. Okay, so for example, let's assume that we have a client here and another client here. If this client got connected and another client got connected, using the connect method, the accept method would create a socket instance for client number 1 and a socket instance for client number 2. Okay, so you can actually deal with each client separately. That's what the accept method is used for. And then after accepting connections, you can use the client socket and send data and receive data. You cannot, for example, receive data here. You can tell it to receive 14 byte. It accepts a buffer as well. You can, for example, tell it to receive 14 byte using raw sockets. So you are going to receive the data link layer because the data link layer is 14 byte long. So that's and the send method as well. You can actually go ahead and send data. You can send strings, you can send tuples, lists, but if you want to send tuples or lists or other data type rather than strings, you are going to use something called serialization. We're going to be talking about serializing your data later on in this video, throughout this somewhere in this video series, inshallah. So the connect method here, or the client, since the client wouldn't actually bind and listen, it would directly connect. It would use only the connect method. There is no bind, there is no listen, okay, because the client is going to connect to the socket server, and the connect server here, or the connect method, would try to connect to the given address and port specified by the bind method, and a socket client is created by the accept method, okay, by the accept method for the given client, okay. So using that socket client, it can receive data from the client and then send data to the client, okay, back to the client. The connect method here, my friends, when using the connect method, it is gonna perform the three-way handshake, okay. Here, where you can perform the three-way handshake, okay. And the close method is gonna send a reset packet, a packet with a reset flag set to 1. So you're gonna understand this stuff momentarily in detail. So let's fire up a Wireshark instance, and let me start up the sniffing. And as you can see here, I've applied some filters here. IP address, I'm interested in this IP address, and not SSH, not UDP, and not ICMP. So let's go ahead and fire up a Python interpreter, which is idle under Windows. Let's import socket, and let's create a socket instance. So socket dot adjust family inet. Now you understand what I'm doing, my friends. So IPv4, socket type is sock stream, and the protocol is 0, or you can actually either get rid of it. So now, since the client isn't going to bind or listen or accept connections, it's going to directly connect, and the connect accepted tuple. The first one is the IP address, and the second one is the port number. And simply put, the IP address is ifconfig is 172.122.99. So Apache CTL start. Let me start Apache, and you can go ahead and connect, okay. So after connecting, you will notice that we are going to perform a three-way handshake. So I made a mistake here, so let me close this. The mistake here is the IP address. We have to wait for it to return because we haven't set a timeout. Oh my god. I'm gonna pause the video. Okay, we're back. So 99. Okay, so as you can see here, my friends, these are the three-way handshake. The first packet is a SYN packet. As you can see, this is a SYN flag set to 1. If we kind of, scroll down here, this is a SYN flag set to 1, and this is a SYN ACK, which is an answer, a reply by the server, SYN and ACK, and the ACK. Okay, so let's clear out this stuff, and let me go ahead and send some data. I am going to send a GET request requesting index.html. Let's check if we have index.html var index or HTML. Okay, so I'm going to request index.html, or you can, let's leave it the directory, the root directory. It would grab it automatically. So http command 1.0 backslash or backslash n backslash or backslash n. Okay, let's send a packet. Whoa. So we've sent an HTTP request, okay, and this is okay, a GET request. Excellent. Let's check out the answer. Okay, scroll a little bit. down, and indeed, boom. So we've got a status code of 20, and this is Apache. So you can create a program here to do a banner grabbing. Okay, you can check out the Apache version and other stuff. Okay, so this is the web page. Excellent. So now you understand actually how stream socket works. Okay, the bind, the listen, the accept, receiving. And if we go ahead, my friends, and clear out all this stuff, and we go ahead and do s.close, I believe it would send a reset ACK. Okay, because it has sent an ACK, and it would say that I'm going to reset the connection. Okay, so using raw socket, you can create your own mechanism here. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the video and starting explaining UDP in a different video, inshallah. So thank you for viewing this video. See you next time.